Welcome to the NC-4 model building tutorial. This video will provide a step-by-step demonstration on how to build your seaplane. Before you begin, assemble all of the materials and tools that you will need. A list can be found at the beginning of the instructions packet. First, you will need to cut out all of the template pieces. Cut along the solid lines and fold along the dotted lines. The marks here are indicator marks, which will help you to align all of the pieces properly. On these tail pieces, don't forget to separate the tabs, but be careful not to cut them off entirely. First, take the vertical tail pieces and fold tabs in opposite directions. Do this for all 3 vertical tail pieces. The upper and lower horizontal tail pieces should have the flat edge facing the same way, and the shorter side of the vertical tails should also face this direction. Tape the vertical tail pieces, labeled T3, to the lower horizontal tail, labeled T1. Make sure that you tape them in line with the guideline printed on the lower horizontal tail. Check that the back end of the vertical tail is facing the back end of the horizontal tail. Now, tape the upper horizontal tail to the vertical tail pieces, again lining them up with the guidelines and making sure that the pieces are facing the correct direction. Congratulations! You have finished the tail piece. Next, we will be building the wings. Cut the wing pieces from the templates. You should end up with all the pieces shown here. Note that the 2 hull pieces are included with one of the wing templates, so set those aside for now. Begin by folding the pieces along the dotted line. Make sure that the printed side is on the outside when you fold. Note that the printed pieces only have circles on one half of the template. Make sure that they are all lined up. Next, we are going to tape the wing sections together to form the upper and lower wing. Set the lower wing aside and focus on the upper wing. Make sure that the printed side is facing down. First, measure 1.5 centimeters from the leading edge, the crease, in 3 different places. Now that you have all 3 marks, connect them with a straight line using a ruler, extending the ends of the line all the way to the edges of the wing. Now, we will measure 3 centimeters from each edge along the line we just made. Next, measure the distance between the 2 marks you have just made. This will be the length of your wing spar. Write this measurement above the line. For this next step, you will need 3 of the drinking straws and scissors. Measure out the straws so that you have a combined length equal to the number that you wrote down above the line. Next, tape the straws together to form the wing spar. Tape this spar to the upper wing along the line that you drew, lining up the ends of the spar with the marks that you made that are 3 centimeters in from each edge of the wing. Once you are finished taping the spar, fold the wing closed with the spar on the inside. Tape around the edges to secure the two halves together. Make sure that while you are taping the wing, you are keeping the side of the wing with the printed marks as flat as possible. Next, tape the bottom wing together in the same fashion. At this point, stop to check that all of the printed circles are in the same side, and make sure that you can still bend the lower wing in the middle. Now, we will punch holes in the upper and lower wings where the rivets will go. Make sure that all of the circles are punched. Sometimes some of them are covered with tape and can be forgotten. When punching holes in the upper wing, it may be tricky due to the spar inside. Just do your best to punch the holes where they are supposed to go. Now we will attach the rivets to the wing pieces. On the sheet of 3D printed parts, some of the pieces are for use in later steps. Set these aside after you remove all of the rivets. Half of the rivets are arrow-shaped, and the other half are circular. The circular rivets are attached to the upper wing, and the arrow rivets are attached to the lower wing. Place the circular rivets into the holes in the upper wing. Place a piece of tape covering the rivet to secure it in place. Check to make sure that all of the rivets extend completely through the wing. When placing the rivets in the lower wing, the arrows on the rivets should all point towards the middle. After all of the rivets are in place, it is time to attach the straws. Cut straws to the lengths specified in the instructions. The shortest 4 straws should be attached to the outer 4 rivets, the middle length straws to the next 4 rivets, and the longest to the innermost 4 rivets. Place the straw on the rivet and take a piece of tape. Wrap the tape around the straw and then tape it to the wing. The straws should decrease in length from the middle outwards. Now we will attach the lower wing to the upper wing. When doing this, ensure that both wings are facing the correct direction. The wing tips on both should be facing the same direction. Push the straws onto the rivets and then tape in place the same as before. These rivets may be a bit more difficult to fit into the straws, so be careful not to bend them. After taping all of the straws, check to make sure that there is a slight bend in the lower wing. This is called dihedral and gives the plane more stability when flying. Congratulations, you just completed the wings. First, cut out the template for the hull. Remember that earlier we set aside 2 of the hull pieces that were on the wing template. We will be using those now. Fold along all of the dotted lines, keeping the printed side on the inside this time. Now we are going to fold the tabs of the pentagonal bulkhead pieces. The red star will go with the other red star when we attach the bulkheads to the hull. Now repeat with the other two H2 pieces on the other red star. Starting with the nose of the hull, we are going to tape the pieces together, connecting the 4 sections of the paper. Now we are going to tape the nose cover onto the front where we were just working. You will tape the tabs on just as you did before. Now we are going to tape the tail of the hull together, just as we did the nose. We will be taping it in a curved fashion. When you are done taping, there should be a hole at the tip of the tail. Now we are going to take the back hull cover and tape it over where we were just working to seal off the back hull. Finally, we will attach the front hull cover. Don't forget to bend it where the dotted lines are, as you can see in the video. Make sure only to tape it down on the back so that the front can fold up and give access to the inside of the hull. Next, we will tape the wings to the hull. Make sure that the wingtips are towards the pointy end of the hull, which is the back. Congratulations! You've completed the hull. Now we are going to attach the tail. We will need to insert the hull to tail boom 1 centimeter into the back of the hull, so first measure that 1 centimeter from the end of the straw with a ruler and mark it. Once you have marked the straw, attach it to the hull with tape. Next, cut 2 parallel slits in the end of the straw. These slits should be horizontal when the plane is held normally. This is how you will attach the end of the straw to the tail. The tail should be horizontal and aligned with the middle of the plane. Next, cut parallel slits in both ends of the wing to tail booms and tape them in place on the wings and tail where indicated by the marks on the template. When cutting the slits on both ends of the straw, make sure that they are all level with one another so that there is no twist when you slide the straw onto the wings and tail. Tape in place when done. Once you are done taping the wing to tail booms, make sure that the tail is level and centered relative to the wings. Move the tail around and retape in place if necessary. Now we will assemble the crossbar triangle. Remove the 3D printed elbows from the sheet. The two shorter straws will create the bottom V of the triangle, and the longer straw will span the top. Connect the straws using the elbows. Attach the crossbar triangle to the booms and tape in place. The straws should be rigid now that they are held in place. Congratulations, you have fully assembled your NC-4. Now it is time to balance and trim the plane. First, place 2 fingers under the upper wing where the wing spar is. Try to balance the plane on just those 2 fingers. In this case, the plane tilts backwards. This means that you'll need to add more weight to the front of the plane. You can do this by placing modeling clay into the front of the hull. And as you can see, it is too much. The plane tilts too far forward now when we test it. Now if we take some out, the plane tilts too far backward. Keep adjusting this amount until when you hold the plane with 2 fingers on the spar, the plane is level. Once you find the perfect amount of clay to balance the plane, you can close the front of the hull with tape. We suggest only lightly taping the hull for now, in case you want to readjust the amount based on how the plane flies. After using clay to balance the plane, we're going to adjust the vertical and horizontal tails to make the plane glide in a straight line. If the plane tilts up when it's thrown, adjust the horizontal tails and fold them downwards. If the plane tips downward when thrown, fold the horizontal tails upward. If the plane curves to the left when you throw it, fold the vertical tails to the right, and if the plane curves to the right when you throw it, fold the vertical tails to the left. Congratulations, you have balanced and trimmed your plane. Happy flying!